Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with me, Victoria Nolan.
All right, we'll do the same thing again.
Sure.
Can you maybe reposition your mic?
Yeah. The concept of a family is ever-changing. Each family experiences its own set of unique joys, struggles, and successes. My name is Chris Vallée. I'm 22 years old, and I'm the Ottawa Bureau reporter for AMI. I'm someone who's extremely passionate about storytelling and the ability to help people. And so when I saw the position at AMI and I saw the values of the company and the fact that I'm able to tell stories from people in the disability community, I jumped on that opportunity. And thankfully they gave me a chance, and ever since then I have loved being able to meet such unique people, telling unique stories from unique backgrounds. Every story is different, and that's what makes it so special to me.
Chris's interest in becoming a journalist began at the age of 10.
Every night we would do this ritual where we'd watch the 6 o'clock news, and at that age I didn't think that it was possible because you saw TV as these mega celebrities. But as I got older and I realized that journalism is an attainable dream, I got more invested in it, so I started interviewing my stuffed animals, interviewing members of my family.
Chris's mom, Sylvie.
When we bought his first phone, he started practicing on his phone, and then he would do interviews. He'd ask us questions. He'd pretend that he was a news anchor.
Well, the Ottawa Senators, what will they do next? After losing their captain, Jason Spezza, they now...
At that age, Chris began facing mental health struggles.
School was a major trigger, and I was definitely a perfectionist, so it was a very stressful environment. That combined with the societal pressures to be perfect. At the age of 12, you're starting to listen to what people say around you, and so I decided that I wanted to go on a diet to lose 5 pounds and get a six-pack. And ultimately that diet turned into 10 pounds, and then fast forward 2 months later, you're in a hospital bed losing 40 pounds and connected to a bunch of IV feed tubes and feeding tubes and you name it.
After hours of questions from doctors who were trying to figure out the cause of Chris's weight loss, he was diagnosed with anorexia.
Hearing that as a parent, it was devastating. Like, you don't know what the disease is. So it was tough.
Chris's sister, Emily.
We had to do things like hide certain things in the kitchen and hide some medication around the house. And it was so scary to just see him lose weight so drastically and not realize it until he was admitted to the hospital. So yeah, it was terrifying. The thought of losing my best friend was scary.
I was through treatment for 6 years, and through that I started developing these moments where I would just blank out and I wasn't sure what it was. So several times a day I would just freeze and wasn't really aware what was going on. Ultimately, there was one day I woke up and I had a severe headache. And that day, I went to get up to the bathroom and I collapsed to the ground, had a seizure. I'm not sure what happened after that because I have no recollection, but then and there they diagnosed me with epilepsy, got me on the right medication, taught me all the right protocols. Since then, my seizures are a lot more controlled.
Chris's recovery with CHEO, the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, led to mental health advocacy and giving back to the community that helped save his life. Through this work, he met Jane O'Brien.
I think when I met Chris, I believe it was 4 years ago, conversations around eating disorders had really become very much in the public, but knowledge about the condition, not so much. And one of the things that he was helping us to understand more deeply was that this was a condition that was very gender norms. People thought that was mostly a girl's issue. And he put a really fresh, interesting and accessible face on it, both for people like myself who work in the health community, if you will, and for our donors and the public who we share those stories with.
Recovery also meant pursuing his dreams.
As I got older and I discovered journalism, it sort of brought out the artistic side out of me. So, being able to force myself into speaking to new people, in front of a camera and in front of a microphone, I'm able to do that. But outside of that environment, like at school, I would not approach new people. I'd be extremely terrified. So it definitely forced me to find my voice. Join Canadian families in the disability community on journeys of growth, self-discovery, adaptability, and strength.
Sharon Hyland was his teacher at the Algonquin College radio broadcast program.
I'm not surprised that Chris has gotten to a point in his broadcast career that helps other people. So to be able to take his technical strength as a broadcaster and take the personal triumphs as a person and put those together and help other people, I think is right up his alley and is not surprising at all, but it's another source of pride for his old teacher.
I just want him to keep excelling at what he's doing. I want him to be on TV more. I want to see his face everywhere I go. And I want to see him keep making people smile.
Good.
That was great. Cut.